Hello, today I'm going to talk about promoting babies' nutrition. This presentation will focus on the importance of nutrition and what strategies do educators do to promote babies' nutrition. First of all, what is nutrition? Nutrition are important for infants. It defines as relationship between the nutrients found in foods and their influence on the human body. It helps baby to grow and promotes their physical and cognitive development. Nutrition encompasses the relationship between the nutrients that are eaten, digested, and absorbed, and how they contribute to growth and health. A child's diet, or the food and beverage consumed to nourish and support the body and its processes, must meet the child's nutritional demands during the active early years in order for the child to grow appropriately. Serving safe and healthful foods is a common responsibility of early childhood teachers. During infancy, children grow rapidly. Their body size triple, and they need substantial amount of nutrients in any other period of time. Typically, the best food for infants is mother's breast milk. Breast milk is recommended exclusively for infants from birth to 6 months. Breast milk provides the necessary nutrients for baby's growth. The breast milk contains many nutrients provides baby enough fluids, energy, carbohydrate, fat, protein, vitamins, and minerals. Babies need fluids because it prevents babies from dehydration. In the first 6 months of life, babies cannot have water due to the risk of hyponatremia, which can lead to seizures. So babies needs breast milk to provide fluids for their wellness. In addition, energy is also needed for the babies because it helps them to maintain temperature and leftover to promote growth and development. Those nutrients provide babies essential nutrition for optimal growth, especially for their brain development and the other important organs. Furthermore, the nutrients are essential for enhancing baby's immune system to prevent diseases such as diarrhea, ear infection, and pneumonia, and it also helps baby to recover faster from injuries. There are many factors that affect the weight of feeding children. For example, whether if mother's physical condition can support baby's optimal nutrition. Some mothers have difficulties express their milk. They might not be able to provide enough nutrition for their babies. Another situation is that mother had medical history or substance addiction. In this case, their breast milk might contain substances that are harmful to babies. Therefore, babies need to be fed in other ways, like formula milk. Another factor that affects feeding methods is the cultural background. Some families support breastfeeding, while others are against it. It depends on mother's peers and elders to decide whether babies should have breast milk or formula milk. A responsible educator should control daily intake of the babies to ensure their wellness. There is also a standard in babies' everyday intake. For example, babies from birth to 4 months need 8 to 12 times feeding, while in 4 to 6 months they only need 4 to 8 times feeding. Then 6 to 8 months babies they need fewer feedings, which is 3 to 5 times per day. When they reach 8 to 12 months, they need only approximately 3 to 4 times feeding. So how to prepare infant formula? Well, first of all, we need to wash our hands thoroughly with soap and running warm water. and then dry hands using a disposable paper towel. In the meantime, we have to make sure that always prepare infant formula in a clean, hygienic area. Ensure all bottles, teats, and any other equipment used to make up infant formula have been cleaned and sterilized. Sterilization can be done by boiling for 5 minutes. Antibacterial sterilizing agents, steam sterilizers, or microwave steam sterilizers. Next, we use freshly boiled tap water that has been allowed to cool to lukewarm. Measure the required amount of water into the bottle. The water is always added before the powder. Then we measure the required number of scoops of infant formula powder into the bottle of water. Use only the scoop that comes with that tin, and read the instructions on the tin to find out how many scoops are needed for the amount of water being used. Tap each scoop lightly, but do not pack down the powder. Use a clean knife to level off each scoop. Reseal the open can of infant formula powder and store in a cool, dry place. And then we place the teat and cap on the bottle and shake vigorously till all of the powder dissolves. We test the temperature of the milk with a few drops on the inside of our wrist. It should feel just warm, but cool is better than too hot. If it is too hot, cool the feed quickly by holding under a running tap or place in a container of cold or ice water. If the bottle of infant formula is not required immediately, store in the back of the refrigerator until it is needed. Do not allow prepared bottles of formula to sit at room temperature for more than 1 hour. Finally, we discard any unused made-up infant formula at the end of the day. So what are the good positions for breastfeeding? Here are some good examples of feeding babies. First of all, we have side lying hold. This position is lying down with your body's parallel. Make sure you are comfortable enough. For example, you could rest your head on a pillow rather than your arm. Next, we have cradle hold with the same arm, holding your baby across your lap, supporting her with the same arm as your breast. Then we have cradle hold with the opposite arm, holding your baby across your lap, using the opposite arm to the breast she is feeding from to support. And we have rugby ball hold. This position requires holding your baby underarm. You can lay your baby on a pillow and gently support her neck in this position. And then we have twins hold, using a cushion under your babies as you gently support them with your hands on their upper backs. And finally, we have koala hold, supporting your baby while she's straddled across your knees in an upright position. What are the consequences of malnutrition? Infants are most vulnerable to malnutrition. Insufficient intake of nutrition can lead to stunting and cognitive impairment. Babies who are lack of nutrition are more likely to grow up to be less smart, and they are at greater risk of infection. Most importantly, if the child becomes malnourished before the age of 2, the damage is irreparable. So, it is really important that babies are fed in time and well nourished. Food safety is also crucial for children's well-being. For foods to be healthful, they must be stored, prepared, and served in a sanitary manner. Dummies or pacifiers are best avoided for the first month while mothers are beginning to breastfeed. Caregivers should also be mindful of the expiry date of the milk, and always make sure it is being put in the fridge so it does not spoil. In addition, babies are at a higher risk of food poisoning, so take care in preparing their food. Each and every utensil should be disinfected before use, so it does not pass out germs or allergens that might cause babies sick. Moreover, use freshly cooked food or cool foods quickly in the fridge and use within 1 day or freeze. Keep an eye on your baby's eating to watch for choking. A healthy feeding relationship promotes baby's well-being. As an early childhood teacher or caregiver, it is necessary to set up a healthy feeding relationship with the babies by responding to babies' needs immediately. Infants usually will send out signals to educators that they are hungry. For example, if they are hungry, they will open their mouth or suck their thumb. This probably means that babies are hungry and is expecting milk. If the babies are very hungry, they will cry out to protest. So as a caregiver, it is important to know about those cues and react promptly to those feeding cues. On the other hand, if the babies were satisfied and no longer want food, the caregiver should not force the baby to eat. The babies would usually turn heads or shut mouth tight if they feel like they do not need more food. So when caregivers saw those signs, they should stop feeding the babies. Therefore, it will encourage babies to eat more and absorb optimal nourishment. A healthy feeding relationship helps baby to form good eating habits in adult life. So when do we start feeding breast milk to babies? Most of the time, it's up to mother's will and her family's choice. If mother is okay to provide milk, then she can continue breastfeeding. At the same time, gradually introduce two appropriate family foods after 6 months while continuing to breastfeed for 2 years or beyond. However, some babies are not able to digest solid food at first. It is not until 9 to 12 months or later that babies are able to actually ingest and eat the solid foods. There is many ways to stop breastfeeding. Mother can wean with a cup or bottle. Start with whichever breastfeed of the day her baby seems least interested in. Then cut out another breastfeed every few days or even each week, depending on the mother's comfort and the baby's willingness to cooperate. Slowly reducing the number of breastfeeds protects the baby during the weaning period, and it also helps mother avoid problems such as mastitis. By the time the baby is about 6 months of age, breast milk or formula milk will no longer provide all the nutrition they need for healthy growth. That's when it's time to begin adding solid foods to the baby's diet. There are a few signs that babies are ready to start solid foods. When they start showing interest when others are eating, start making gestures that seem to say, "Feed me too," start pushing out any food put in their mouth, disappearance of the tongue thrust reflex, start being able to hold their head up and sit without supports. So how to introduce solid foods to babies? Well, start by offering small amounts of iron-fortified cereal or period foods once a day, at the time of the day that suits the mother and the baby. Eventually, the baby will increase the amount of solid food they eat until they are able to eat 3 small meals a day with the rest of the family. And this is the end of the presentation. Thank you for watching.